I'm back. I'm still here. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Casey Michelle. I'm a full-time breathwork facilitator / content creator. My last video, I was kind of deciding what I was going to do here, but I'm still here, still making videos, still talking about breathwork. In today's video, I really just want to tell you about how my relationship with food has completely changed. Definitely top 5 biggest changes I noticed after getting into conscious breathing. Before we get into it, give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe, comment down below your favorite food. So as some of you guys know, I dove back in, I got into breathwork like 2019, really dove in 2020. Some of you guys have kept up with me as far as like my fasting, and then we had the breatharian chapter. I've had a lot of chapters on the internet. The best way I can describe what breathwork has done is just really change the desires of my day-to-day all around, but especially with food. Pretty like basic and simple too. Just, you know, imagine eating a whole bunch of food, proportions just huge, or a lot of heavy food, and you try to take a deep breath and you just can't, right? So practicing conscious breathing consistently, you just build a relationship with yourself. And anything that would take away from that connection, you just naturally don't want to do anymore. You know, you're like, well, why would I eat all that food or want to be sedated or stuff myself to the craziest brim? You know, it's not like I never have those times. I'm human and I have my times. But in general, like, I found that my cravings really shifted, my desires really shifted. I like had a huge decrease in appetite. Realized how much we as people eat out of habit. We're not even hungry. Emotional eating or social eating, my whole perspective as to what food is, like the purpose of it. I think for some reason, we just kind of like, I don't know, a lot has been normalized. That is interesting when you like zoom out from it, because it's like, why would you eat food? To nourish yourself or because you feel hungry? This thought that follows that is like, how many times are you like, let's grab lunch? And like, maybe sometimes you are hungry, but I know for me, I was personally having a lot of moments where I was just like socially eating, similar to like drinking, you know, like I don't drink anymore, but just like socially doing things because it's just the norm. And it would be weird to be like, well, let's go on a walk, or like, let's, I don't know, do something else. Like food obviously is very culturally this thing that brings people together, and I'm not shaming it for that at all. I think there is actually a lot of beauty in that. I just realized how much of eating has become on autopilot for a lot of us, and I can't really speak for everyone, but I know for me, I'm never hungry first thing in the morning, okay? Like I'm never like, very rarely am I like, pancakes, that's what I want first thing in the morning. Everyone has their own way of being. This is just my way of being right now in this chapter, and it's subject to change like we all do. But yeah, since starting breathwork, I definitely probably don't start consuming food usually until like noon. Sometimes, you know, if I got up really early, if I got up like 6 or 5, I might have something at 10 or 11. But just in general, like the density of things has really changed. I've just noticed that, okay, well, this will take me out of the connection I have with my breath if I do eat 5 pancakes, you know, like that's gonna make my breath shallow, and then my thoughts are gonna get shallow, and then this little cycle's gonna, you know, start to get going. So it just put that into perspective. It just really made me like, well, anything that's gonna take me in a disconnection from spirit, I'm gonna prefer not to do that. And again, it's not like it doesn't ever happen, y'all. There's times where I indulge, absolutely. And I'm removing shame from that topic in itself, because I think I used to shame myself a lot on that. But in general, just really looking at food a little differently, at consumption a little differently, realizing that we are always kind of consuming. You watching this right now is consumption. The music you listen to, being in nature has a form of consumption. You know, like literally you're always feeding your news feed, right? You're always feeding yourself. And so, yeah, over the last 4 years, I think I've now find kind of maybe more balance. I had the breatharian journey that y'all maybe remember when I did like a 70+ day fast, and I was just always just somehow in a fast. Pretty much 2020, I was mainly just drinking juice or, yeah, fruit, but mainly I was kind of on that path. And I won't lie, to this day, that is the healthiest I think I ever felt in my life. Like, I'm not pushing you to go do that. This is not a video to say that you're not healthy with what you got going on. Personal experience only. That was the most energy I think I've ever had in my life. There's probably a lot of factors involved in that too, though, as well. And so yeah, now I think I've kind of found a balance when it comes to all of it, but just really noticing that, you know, it's like you can't unknow what you know. That was like one of the main things I remember. I would just eat certain foods and just be sedated, like seduced completely. You're like stimulated and then sedated and then stimulated and sedated. And like, honestly, I've accepted that that's just kind of part of life. I think somewhere in life, we all have that fixation. It may not be food, maybe it's sex, maybe it's gambling, maybe it's getting caught up in TV shows. I don't know, you know, like you're all stimulated to watch it and then you like fall asleep to it. Like there is kind of an acceptance I've had around that topic. With that awareness, it just kind of changed things. It just put things into perspective as far as need. And so yeah, if you are someone that kind of finds yourself feeling a lot of emotional voids with food, or kind of just habitually snacks a lot, I really super recommend getting into breathwork. It is a natural appetite curve, especially first thing in the morning. If you start your day with 30 minutes of breathwork, you will see a change. I've also had people share that they get really hungry after practicing breathwork. That is totally normal as well. I do invite those people, and I've been those people, to maybe not immediately give into the craving or the urge or the desire, and maybe let it subside. And if it doesn't, then like feed yourself. But you know, like sometimes breath work is really just digging up emotions and these kind of like deep ingrained things in our cells and our body and our organs. And then our ego, our mind is like, safe space, go just eat food, just stuff it, just numb, just suffocate it. We don't want to deal with that. And you don't even realize it. Like your brain is just always doing this thing to like keep you in a safe place. It's doing its best to like find that comfort zone. So I've found a lot of times, like if hunger does come up right after breath work, maybe I'll like go for a walk, or I'll like do some yoga, or like move my body for a little bit. And I'll realize like, oh, actually like I'm fine. Or I might end up like needing to journal or like cry it out or like whatever needs to happen. But you know, I'm actually not hungry. Emotions came up, and years of a certain pattern have been put in place. So I'm unlearning to fill that emotional void with substance, because food is still a substance. We like separate food and drugs, but like try fasting and you'll realize that food is the #1 addiction in the world. Yeah, this video hopefully wasn't triggering in any way. I hope it wasn't. Just again, sharing my experience, sharing, you know, how far we've come when it comes to food, eating, fasting, all of that stuff. So, you know, just like a different level of awareness and finding a balance of not being like too overly hyper aware and being accepting of like, this is where I'm at. Anyway, this was a little rambly, but hopefully you enjoyed. I just wanted to share my little journey with food and consumption. And if you have any questions about it, or maybe have any personal stories to share, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear more. And I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.